As we begin our coverage of Conference USA Football Media Days, I'm Ron Thulin. Good to have you with us. We'll be talking to, as mentioned, all the coaches throughout today. Our first school up is Charlotte with their head coach joining us down the far side there, Brad Lambert. Also, good to have you here, Coach.
Good to be here, Ron.
Also joining us, Larry Ogunjobi, defensive lineman, was all Conference USA last season. And NFL.com had the 16 people that could run for president. He's one of them, Jamal, Covington, offensive lineman. Gentlemen, good to have you here.
Thank you.
Brad, I want to start with you. We'll get to you players in a second. You said last year was eye-opening, and that the players are going to use that as motivation this season.
Yeah, I think so. I think our guys got an introduction to the league, and it's such a balanced, good conference all across the board. And I think our guys really got a good feel for the league going through it. And we were in a lot of games, and so we're encouraged. Got a lot of guys back. We got a senior-laden team, so I expect for our guys to come out and play extremely well.
Talk about the fact that this is the final year for the players who actually started this program. I think there's like 22 players back. How special is this for them?
Yeah, this group is really special to me personally, just because they took a risk on us when we didn't have anything. We didn't have a football, we didn't have a stadium, and they're risk takers. And two of them are sitting here with us, and so it's a special group. And you want them to go out and have a great senior year, because it's a really special group, and we just appreciate them coming to Charlotte.
When you and I talked last year at the Conference USA meetings, you told me that you had to out-recruit the previous class, but you had to be careful when doing that. Explain that, and are you still in that situation now?
Yeah, you're always trying to elevate your recruiting, and once we put Conference USA, the brand behind our brand, everything elevated, and we've done that every year. We've elevated our recruiting and brought in the right student athletes, and we want to do that each and every year. And now it's time for us to go produce on the field and win some games in the league and show that we belong in the league.
The one thing that stands out is you've got a great pedigree as a coach. You were at Kansas State, but the man that has meant a lot to a lot of us in this business, who's been very upfront with us, and it's meant a lot to you, Jim Grove. What did he teach you about coaching? Well,
I think for Coach Grove's number one thing is developing relationships with people in the building, players, coaches, whoever's in the building, and he treated everybody the same. And so that's the one thing that I always took from him. You treat people the right way on a daily basis and motivate people, develop a relationship with them, and that'll take you a long way. And that's how we won a lot of games at Wake Forest. So we've tried to do that at Charlotte.
Second season in Conference USA. Your impression of the first season, as far as what did you learn and what do you need to do to make second season better than the first?
Well, I think, the first time going through Conference USA, I told our team all the time, the difference is the line of scrimmage. Everybody's got a great defensive lineman you're trying to block. And so I think the guys got to see that firsthand, last year. And so we had, like I said earlier, we had an opportunity to win some games, and we didn't close them out at the end. So that's our focus this year, is finishing and making sure that we go in and take care of the little things that it takes to win games.
Offense, you were pretty balanced last season, and I think in the offseason you wanted to build depth on the offensive line. Was that accomplished?
Yeah, I think so. We lost Jamal last year for a few games, and we lost Eugene German for a few games, and so we had to, we have to develop that depth, and each year that's gotten better for us as we grow our program. We've brought in some good players and good students, and so they've developed that, trying to develop that depth in the offensive line has been critical for us, and I think we've done that.
Last year, 3 quarterbacks used. Give us an update. And that's not an ideal situation, obviously, because of injuries and everything else and style. Give us an update on your quarterback situation.
Well, Kevin Olson's going to be our quarterback. He won the job coming out of spring and going into the fall. And Hassan Klu's our backup quarterback right now. So really excited about Kevin. He's a good player. He's a good person. He's adopted well to our team. And he's just come in and done a good job with our guys. And so we're excited to watch him play this year.
And, of course, his brother plays in the NFL, Carolina Panthers, Greg Olson.
He does.
Pedigree there.
He does. So it's kind of an Olson family in Charlotte, so it's been good.
That's good. Let's talk about the defense now. And Larry, I'm going to talk to you first. What did you learn last season about Conference USA and what you had to do to get better to compete this year?
I think the biggest thing is just, like Coach said, finishing. I feel like we're competing at a decent level, especially on the D-line, but I feel like it's just that consistency throughout the game. Not starting late, but starting as soon as the ball snaps, as far as like not waiting for the second half to come out and start playing, but starting from the beginning and holding that throughout the entire game.
Now, last year, Coach Wallerstedt, the defensive coordinator for Charlotte, he put a lot more movement in, and I got the sense that you guys like that movement on defense.
Yes, sir. I think it just helps a lot because it allows you to utilize your skills. And for us, our biggest thing is our speed. So just being able to move around and get past blocks and stuff like that, it helped a lot.
And when you got to know the defense a little bit better, did you play more aggressively and play, as coaches like to say, faster?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Definitely.
How much fun was that for you?
Too much fun.
This year's defense, guys have had to work hard, obviously, getting stronger, faster, and everything else that goes along with it. How much time watching tape have you put into it to try to get better on the mental aspect of the game?
I think, to be honest, I think 90% of football is mental. You have to, set yourself up for success through the film room and being able to hone in on what you need to work on. So I feel like just being able to go in the film room every day and really see the things that you need to work on, see how your opponent's acting, and just be able to, go off his or whatever they got going on. I feel like that's the biggest thing.
Let's talk to Jamal Covington now, talk a little bit of offense. When you heard that NFL.com said you were one of the 16 players that could run for president, besides all your teammates giving you rations of grief, obviously, what did you think about that?
I think it was a tremendous honor not only to represent my family, but this logo, the 49ers logo. It's just something I really try to do is be a high man of character, a high man of integrity, and just to really have something positive going on for our program. It was a tremendous opportunity and a tremendous blessing to be selected for that.
Any aspirations in that area?
Yes, it's something I'm definitely trying to do in the future. I feel like, God willing, if that opportunity were to come, I'll definitely put myself in the best position to achieve that goal. So.
Well, just in case I brought my resume, and I'm going to give it to you right there. You missed 4 games. Coach mentioned that. You missed some playing time. How frustrating was that for you last season?
It was extremely frustrating, especially like we're just putting in a lot of work in the off season and just really trying to prepare for that. But during that whole process, I really sat back and I utilized that time to really help out our team, help out my teammates, really get in the film room, honing in on certain guys and certain guys on our team, helping them out what they need to work on, just really being a team player and using my gifts, everything that I could do on my end to put our team in the best position to be successful.
I want both of you to answer, Brad, and you also. Last year, when you look at it, sacks, I don't want to put it all on the offensive linemen. They seem to be an Achilles heel for you. Was that more of talent, or was it just break that down for me as far as your sacks?
Well, I think it was a combination of things. Obviously, you stepped up in competition, so there's an adjustment period there, as I said earlier, of everybody's got a good 3 technique or a defensive end you're trying to block. So that was a combination of it. The fact that we lost 2 tackles throughout that season, that was a piece of it. And our quarterbacks didn't play as well as we wanted them to play as well, so they hold the ball a little too long. Wideouts, it was a full team effort. It wasn't just one position, and obviously the quarterback always takes a lot of blame. But I think the step up in competition with the people we're trying to block, and then getting some guys banged up, that really affected us.
I think a lot of people have the misnomer that it goes all on the offensive lineman, but as you mentioned, there are different aspects to all of this, and you got to keep everybody positive because that is a fixable thing, is it not?
Yeah, no question. I mean, that's something that you're always striving to do, and make sure we're getting the ball out on time, making sure running backs are blocking, make sure we're running the ball well. We always want to start with being able to run the ball, so that affects your throwing game, and so we need to improve as a whole unit in that area, and that's been something in the offseason that we're really working hard on.
Jamal, did you take it personally? The sacks? Giving up the sacks. Not you yourself giving up sacks, because you have never given up a sack. Told you I'd kiss up to you. But does the line take that personally?
Oh, definitely. We take it personally because we are a unit, and that's something we always try to do is really hold each other accountable to a higher standard. And giving up sacks, that's unacceptable in our eyes and our coach's eyes. And just really, every time something negative goes on, Coach Mullen harps on all the time, we want to have a next play mentality, especially during the game, is have that short mindset. Okay, it happened. We got to keep moving forward. We run a really fast offense, so that's something that we really try to really focus in on during the game, is not get too hung up on one play and just have that next play mentality. So.
Going back and looking at tape from last year, Brad, the one thing that stood out to me, I thought you had very solid pass defense last season. What was the area, though, that you said we have to get better at X and Y on the defensive side of the ball?
Well, I think the number one thing for us defensively is we got to eliminate the big plays. We gave up too many big plays last year, and we want to make sure that we're sound in our gap control and we don't give up as many big plays. We created more turnovers and we created a lot more lost yardage plays, which was attributed to the more aggressive style that we played that Larry alluded to earlier. And we want to continue that trend and create lost yardage plays and put offenses behind the chains. But we do have to eliminate the big plays in the game. Gifts in a game or big plays can really hurt you.
Now, you have an outstanding safety already there. Is there a concern for the other safety position, and have you filled that yet?
Yeah, we're always looking, to get those positions, add depth in all of our positions. Alex Duncan had a good spring. A.J. McDonald had a really good spring. So I look for those guys to, they're new in our program and be an impact for us as we move forward.
We were talking about the linebackers, and I mentioned to you, I said, are the linebackers making progress? And you mentioned a couple of names. Talk about those names at linebacker.
Yeah, I think Carrington King's really evolved into a good player. He's a guy that starts for us. Nick Cook led us in tackles last year. He's back. And then Justin Bridges Thompson, JBT, he really had a nice spring. He was forced to play a lot because of some injuries throughout the spring, which he really elevated his game. I was really excited about him coming out of spring and going in here into the summer in August. So hopefully he'll add some playmaking depth. And then at outside backer, Daquan Lucas is just a real impact player for us. He's a guy that's created a lot of lost yardage plays, extremely fast. He's one of, if not the fastest player on our defense and playing outside linebacker. So we expect another big year out of him.
As we're getting ready to begin this little discussion, all three of them were talking. I asked, when do you start practice? And all three of them, their eyes lit up. You're only less than a week and a half away. For you, it can't come soon enough, I would take it.
Oh, yeah. It's been a long time coming. Just really want to get this football season off to a great start, ready to get to work.
How about you, Larry?
I can't wait. I just can't wait. I'm ready to go because I didn't practice during the spring, so I'm just really excited to just get back out there. And last football season in college it's a blessing, man. So I'm excited.
And Brad, for you, I know coaches, they don't really have off time. Are you at the point now you're making sure all the T's are crossed and I's are dotted getting into it?
No question. You're trying to make sure all the logistics are in line. But, for these two guys and for this class, there's been a ton of firsts. And now they're going through the last. So it's the last 2 days they'll go through the last. So this is a really special one for me going in because of this class and this group and what we're trying to get done as we move forward only in year 4 of college football. So it's going to be couldn't get here soon enough for us.
Gentlemen, outstanding job. Brad, I wish you guys the best of luck this year. Stay healthy, gentlemen.
Thank you, Ron.
We'll be back with more from Conference USA Media Days. Up next, Louisiana Tech.